Hi everyone, welcome into another episode of Market Breakdown. Welcome. So it's been a while I came on you guys' screen. It's because we had to give you, as you already know, I like to give the market the time enough to be able to prepare us another good opportunity that we can capitalize on, because we can't just keep jumping from one trade to another and then keep on like trading every candlesticks and move. We need to make sure we're waiting for the best opportunities that appears in the market before we dive into it. So as you already know the order of things on this channel, first off we're going to be looking into the previously analyzed pair before we then move into the opportunities it is that the market has for us in the coming market conditions. Let me just put it like that, in the coming market conditions. So but before we do that, before we dive into the things it is that we've checked earlier, before we dive into the trades that we've taken earlier on, I would like you guys to hit the subscribe button. If it's your first time on this channel, do well to hit the subscribe button. If you're a returning person, if you've been conversant with this channel but you're yet to subscribe, do well to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notification so that you can get notified whenever it is that I drop a new video. You can get notified. And also I'd like you to hit the like button as well, so that the YouTube algorithm can help me promote, or should I say recommend the videos to other traders as well. Can also help me recommend the videos to other traders. So while I would like you guys to do that, and then as we wait, and then we okay, believing that's done already. So we're just going to like look into the pairs, like I said earlier, the pairs that we looked at uh in the last market breakdown. So we're going to be starting with Euro USD, like we already have on our screen. We were looking for sales at the time when we did the last market breakdown. So our sell actually came at the break of this CTL here. I'm going to be explaining it on the weekly time frame so that we can be able to like get a better understanding of it. I don't want to go to the daily time frame, or if to the entry time frames. But as we're going to progress into the opportunities that we have for as we're going to progress into the opportunities that we have in the coming that we're going to be looking at, I'm going to like go through every time frames it is that we need to go through, and then look for how best it is that we are actually going to be taking the pair. And also I have a trade call for you guys. I hope it hasn't started playing out already. Although I'm in the trade already, I already hit the buy button on the trade, but I hope it hasn't started playing out so that you guys can also join me on the trade by the time this YouTube video goes live. So with that being said, we took our sales at the close below this counter trend line. This counter trend line, we took our sales from there. Our first level target was meant to be this green bar. Our second level target, this major zone. Then our overall level target was here. So like the plan that we had for the trade at the time was that we're going to close 50% of our position here. We're going to like close a maybe 40% here, and then leave the rest of the 10% of the position to come down here. And then as the market starts to roll to the downside, if we see a break below this zone, and then maybe this is able to like support it, and then we see a pullback again, we're going to start adding more position again. The risk that we've removed, all the this thing, we're just going to like start transferring it and then make more money to the downside. That was a plan initially. However, the trade actually came to stop us out. So that was that on Euro USD. And another pair that we did look out for was Amazon. We looked at gold and we looked at silver. So I'm just going to show you guys what Amazon did. There's really no much need to look at Amazon because it didn't actually give us the trading opportunity that we were anticipating. However, I'm still going to show you guys. And then gold and silver as well didn't actually give us the opportunity that we were also waiting for. But however, I'm still going to like just show us Amazon, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the pairs it is that we have lined up for today. So this is the weekly time frame for Amazon. As we can see here, a we had a double bottom at the listen at the break of the major zone. We had a double bottom, which we said to ourselves at the time that if this market actually breaks the neckline, which happens to be here, and which happened, if this market actually breaks the neckline and then pulls back to it, then we're going to trade it. Here will be our first level target, and this next screen bar is going to be our overall level target. That was the initial plan for the trade. However, the market just went straight to the first level target and then rolled back down. It didn't actually give us the pullback that we needed before so that we can be able to enter. However, something actually interesting happened on the, I think, daily or 4-hour time frame. I think it was on the daily or 4-hour time frame. Something interesting actually happened there. Okay, this is it on the daily time frame. So I was able to see this, but it was already late. The market had started playing out by the time I saw it. So like I saw this move from here to here, and then I noticed that the market actually pulled back into the 50 fib for a retest of it before it now started moving up, which means if you had been able to like buy it at a bullish candle close above the 50 fib, you would have been able to like make something for yourself. Your first level target to be at the minus 0.27 extension, and then your second level target might be at $189 per share, and then you hold it to the overall level target, which we said on the monthly time frame that we're going to hold it to. So that's just a simple recap of everything that happened on the listing. The one we were able to take didn't actually go so much in our favor, and then the rest of the pairs that we did look out didn't actually didn't give us the trading opportunities that we were waiting for before they just went straight to our target. And also we actually did look at GBPNZD as well. Yeah, we did look at GBPNZD as well. So we were waiting for, on GBPNZD, we were waiting for a break above either zones, a pullback to it, a continuation, then we're now going to start buying or selling. So like that was my plan for GBPNZD, although I was more focused on the buys, which eventually happened. If you looked at the previous videos, you're going to get a full understanding of that as well. Sorry guys, the network on my end isn't so great, so it's stalling a little bit. So but for now, okay, let me just do a recap of it, and then I'm now going to dive into the next opportunity that GBPNZD has to give to us. So the plan initially was that I was waiting for a break above this bar, a pullback to it, a pullback to it, and then a continuation candle close. That was when I'm now going to start buying. Here was going to be my first level target, and then 2.1700, let me just say 2.1700 was going to be my overall level target. However, the market just went straight to the overall level target without even giving us the pullback that we needed even on our entry time frame. I know we're still on the weekly time frame, but that didn't even happen. So now what I am looking at, or what I'm saying to myself rather, what I'm looking at, you can also say it like that. What I'm looking at is this market is still actually bullish. If this market wants to decide that it's no longer trading to the upside, we're going to at least see what of a movement that is going to come like this, maybe a pullback to this zone, then an equal high that is going to form, indicating a double top, and then maybe now comes to break the neckline back, a pullback to it, invalidate the trend line as well, and then start moving to the downside. But for now, the market is still bullish, and then as long as the market continues to stay above either this zone or this zone, whenever it is that it pulls back, all I'm going to be waiting for is for a counter trend line to break, and then I'm now going to start buying. This green bar, this 2.17 is still going to be my first level target, and then I'm going to be holding to this next zone, which is going to be approximately on close to a thousand. It's going to be approximately close to, I think, 1,400 to 500 pips from this major zone. So I'm just waiting for a pullback to it. So this market can just decide to pull back here and then break a counter trend line. If it gives us a counter trend line formation, then if I'm able to see that, then I'm now going to start entering this market, and then, like I said, hold it to this green bar as my first level target, and then hold it to the next major zone. However, the market can also decide to come and touch this trend line again. Now for the third touch here, the market can decide to come here for the third touch, and then before it now breaks. And if that happens here, this major zone is going to be my first level target. This major zone is going to be my first level target, and then if I see a continuation to the upside again, I might just like start saying to myself that I'm going to close out. If I'm closing 50% of my position here, I'm going to be closing maybe 30% here, and then hold the rest of the 20 to the descent. And progressively, as the market continues to unfold to the upside, I'm going to wait for subsequent pullback again that is going to allow me add up to my positions. So that's going to be my plan for GBP NZD. We're already in the outlook for the next market opportunities already. So GBP NZD is already the first one I'm looking at. So I'm just looking at I'm waiting for a pullback, then continuation candle close above a possible CTLs that is going to form. Then I'm going to start buying GBP NZD. So another pair it is that we're going to be looking at is Adobe stock. So let's look at a stock market. Let's look at another stock pair, like let's look at another stock pair, something abstract, something different from just all these normal forex pairs and all that. So let's look at a stock pair. So first things first, you already know we're going to be starting from the monthly time frame. Also, there is a what's it called? I have a trade call to give you guys to you guys here. If your broker allows you to trade stock, you're in luck, because you can be able to like maximize this opportunity whenever it is that this video goes live and you've been able to watch it. So if you look at this market condition very well, if you let me zoom out a little bit more, and then you'll be able to see it. Let me take out these tools so that my chart can be more clean. So while my chart is loading up, if you're yet to hit the subscribe button, do well to do that. Do well to subscribe to the channel. So like if you look at this market condition, you're going to see that the market has been in a series of uptrends since like a very long time. The market has been giving us series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And even in the more recent market condition, the market has also been giving us series of higher highs and higher lows as well. The market has been giving higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, then higher lows, higher highs, then a massive pullback to the downside, gave us a lower low, but also pulled back to this zone, which the market has respected before, which means this is actually a major guy that you don't want to mess with. And again, when the market's pulled back into this zone, if you look at the candlestick formation that actually happened on the candlestick pattern that happened on a monthly time frame, this is a morning star. Let me clear out my chart so that you can be able to like get a better understanding of what I'm saying. You can be able to like see the candlesticks very well. Okay, so I believe it's getting more clean and all that. I like my charts being very clean, especially anytime it is holding classes or doing teachings. So if you look at this very well, you're going to see that this market came to respect this zone and then formed a morning star candlestick pattern and broke above another zone after forming after forming the candlestick pattern. So, and usually after a morning star candlestick pattern forms, especially on the monthly on higher time frames, usually when they form, the rest of the candlestick that are going to like form after them is usually bullish candles. But now, because this one actually broke a major zone, and also how massive this candle has been, see how it's almost engulfed like 3 different candles. because of how massive it is and because he just break a major zone, there's a high chance that it's going to pull back to the major zone and then before continuing to the upside. Now, if you want to start trading it to the upside, you want to make sure you're respecting this zone first before you come to this, because this one is the next high. This one is the next major guy before you're going to look at this. So you want to make sure that you're looking at this first. Another thing again that is propelling this market to the upside, if you bring out your Fibonacci and then you draw it from swing low to swing high, if you bring out your Fibonacci and then you draw it from swing low to swing high, you're going to see that the market actually came to into the 50 fib where the morning star candlestick pattern happens to be inside a 50 fib. So Fibonacci is pushing it to the upside, major zone is pushing it to the upside, and then candlestick pattern is also pushing it to the upside. So like this is and also everything that is happening on the monthly time frame. So this guy is very, very solid, and you want to make sure that yes, you're respecting it. This guy is very, very solid, and you want to make sure you're respecting it. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to scroll down to the weekly time frame. But before you do that, I'm going to bring back my tools and then we're going to progress from there. I'm going to bring back my tools and then we progress from there. So now let's move to the weekly time frame. So as you can see on the weekly time frame, the market was giving us series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs in the past market condition, while the market was coming to pull back into the zone. However, the market has broken the trend line that was holding it to the downside. Whenever it is, I will scroll down to the daily time frame, you're going to see the trend line more clearly. So the market has broken above the trend line. Now the market is trading above this zone, and then it's looking like a possible pullback to this zone for a possible continuation to the upside. Now the reason why I'm using more words like possible move is that until you get a confirmation that now is the time for you to place a trade, you want to make sure that you're not going in, you consider everything as a possibility that the market can decide to provide. So that you won't be so much bent on placing a trade whenever it is that the trade is yet to like completely form. So that whenever it is that the trade isn't yet formed, is yet to be matured, you're folding back your arms and telling yourself that until you see this happen, you're not going to be taking these trades. Now for Adobe stock, now until I see a close above this counter trend line here, I'm not going to be taking this trade. And the candlestick confirmation I'm going to be using for a close above is going to be preferably a daily candlestick close above the counter trend line, or if I'm able to get a forward candlestick close that shows very well as a good engulfing candle close, then I might now go into the trade. But preferably I'm going to like to use daily time frame candle close. So now with that being said, let's just actually go to the daily time frame and see what it is that the market is doing on the daily time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame and see what exactly the market is doing there. Okay, so if you zoom out, you're going to see that everything is now beginning to make more sense. You're going to see that everything is like looking neat and then all that. So for this now, like I said, this is what I'm going to be waiting for. If now that this is already pulling back, all I'm just going to wait is for the market to settle at this zone, and then once I see a close above this counter trend line, once I see a daily time frame candle close above this counter trend line, I'm going to be picking the buy. Then my stop loss is going to come below the lowest low. Of course, my first level target is going to be here at the 100 level retracement. My first level target is going to be here at the 100 level retracement. The reason why my first level target is here is because if you come to the monthly time frame, you remember this was a lower low to the high that actually formed here. Now this can actually decide to be a lower low again. But if this market breaks above this, what's it called, if this market breaks above this counter trend line, because of the rest of the confirmation that we've seen on the higher time frame, apart from the market structure, because of the rest of the confirmation that we've seen, there's a high chance that this market is going to continue to the upside. However, you want to make sure you're respecting this, because this can just easily come in and then become a chart pattern, which is double top. And then if it becomes a double top, it can start rolling to the downside. So you want to make sure that you employ your trade management skills, techniques here, so that you can be able to like save something, at least bank something into your account, and then you move stop loss to break even. Whenever it is that I have been able to like make something at this zone here, I'm going to take out 50% of my position, then I'm going to move stop loss to break even. So whenever it is that I move stop loss to break even, I'm now going to say to myself that I'm going to hold all the way to this overall level target here. 50% here, I'm going to be taking the rest of the 50% here. This zone right here is going to be a zone that actually determines if I'm going to be adding more position or not. So if I'm able to see a break above this zone, this second level here, if I'm able to see a break above it, and then I see a pullback with a continuation candle close again, something that looks like this CTL formation, I'm going to be entering more position again, which means the risk that I've removed from here, I'm going to be placing it here, and then I'm going to be having multiple positions running to my overall level target, and then with my risk well managed. My risk is well managed, I have multiple positions running, and then I'm making most of the opportunities it is that the market has to present to me. So that is that on Adobe stock. One of the trade calls that I have to give you guys. That's that on Adobe stock. All I'm waiting for is a CTL break. Then I'm going to be diving into the trade. So another one it is that I am looking at is CAD CHF. Another pair it is that I'm looking at is CAD CHF. Another pair that I'm looking at for is CAD CHF. I'm looking at CAD CHF. I'm looking at CAD CHF. So first things first, come to the monthly time frame. You're going to see that the market has been forming series of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. And when it eventually break this in, what's it called? When it eventually broke above the trend line, you're going to see that even when it broke above it, it was unable to come above this range. It was just like moving sideways. Then again, it broke here to form a lower low. So it means this market is still very much in a downward momentum. This market is still very much in a downward momentum. So now that the market, you've been able to get the direction of the market from the monthly time frame, the next thing you want to do is to say to yourself that you're going to move into the weekly time frame and see what it is that the market is doing. So from the weekly time frame, the last time we looked at the charts, yeah, okay, I think I did a live session. I don't think I did that on this thing. I did a live session in my community. Yeah, that reminds me, guys. So you can just search for Exodus_trades on Telegram. Then that way you can be able to join my free community. Also, do well to follow me on IG. I do well to drop my setups on both my timeline, and also I do well to draw my setups on my feed, or you can decide to call it timeline, whichever one. And I also drop it on my stories on IG as well. Do well to follow me. You can follow me on X as well, X too. On IG is Exodus_trades. For Telegram is Exodus_trades, while for X is Johnson Exodus 1. So that's the X handle. So now let's proceed with this one. This line is getting too much. Let me move this. Okay. So let's continue. So if you look at this market here, this was looking like a possible shoulder that was going to happen, and then this was looking like a head, and then I was anticipating that this was going to become a shoulder. And then all I said to myself is, if this inverse head and shoulder wants to hold, then I'm going to wait for the market to come and break above this major zone. A pullback to it, then I'm going to start buying. However, I was preparing for myself for the scenario that the market would decide not to hold as well. So I said to myself that if this market decides to break below here, pull back to this zone here, and then give me a continuation candle close. When the possible counter trend line formation happens, then I'm going to start selling this market to here as the first level target and here as the next level target. So now, instead of this guy holding, it's actually giving us a break here. It's giving us a break here. So now, like I said, my contingency plan is now beginning to happen, and then what I'm going to be waiting for is a pullback to this zone that allows me to draw a possible counter trend line. Then I'm now going to start selling this market here. This green bar is going to be my first level target, and then here is going to be my major level target for CAD CHF. So the next thing, let's look at daily time frame and see if there's any possible thing that is contradicting the market, or we can just like fix our mind to the selling opportunities that we're now looking out for on the weekly time frame. So if you look at this very well, this is looking like a possible trend line that is happening here. Like there's a possible trend line here. Sorry guys. Okay, like there's a possible trend line that is happening here. Here is the first touch, here the second touch, and then the third touch might just come and happen here. So now if you look at this very well, if you look at this market very well, you're going to see that this market has pretty much been giving us a Fibonacci move to the downside, which means the market came from here to here, moved from here to here, and then pulled back into the 50 fib, and then started moving into the downside. And it's looking like there's a possible source like that might happen as well. Again, if you draw your Fibonacci from swing low again, from swing high to swing low, you're going to see that this zone here actually matches with the 50 fib, matches with the trend line, matches with the minor existing level as well. So this zone, this area of value right here, might actually become something that's going to pull the markets even more to the downside again, And also, if you look at this, let me remove the Fibonacci and this trend line. So if you look at this very well, you're going to see that the market actually did come to form a triple top here. This was the first top, a second top, and then another top again. Broke the neckline, pulled back to the neckline, put back to the neckline, and then start going to the downside. So all you need to start looking out for is just pullbacks, and then you start selling the market. Pull back and start selling the market. Everything it is that this market has been telling us from the monthly time frame has been that we should focus our mind here on selling the market. Just focus your mind on selling the market. So, and again, if you look at this trend line that was holding the market to the upside, eventually it's broken to the downside, pulled back, everything is just pointing to the downside. So for CAD CHF, what I'm going to be looking out for is a pullback to this zone, possible CTL break if it gives us a CTL formation while happening to the upside, possible CTL break. Then my stop loss is going to be above the previous high wherever it is that it forms, and then first level target is going to be at the screen bar, then overall level target is going to be at the next major zone. So that is that for that on CAD CHF. So now we've looked at GBP we've looked at Adobe stock, we've looked at CAD CHF. So now let's look at let me just round up with, okay, I have two more pairs, but I feel like this is becoming very, very long and I don't want it to be too long. So let's just see if I can rush up one. With one more, then I'll now give you guys the trade call I said I was going to be looking at with you guys. I'm actually in the trade already, but still I just want to make sure that if the opportunity is still available, I'll just like give it to you guys as well, so that we can seize the opportunity together and then make money. So if you look at this thing, if you look at Apple stock, it's been trading to the upside. Everything has been giving us series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. It's been trending to the upside. And then on the monthly time frame, remember what I said the other time when I was analyzing Adobe stock that whenever it is that the market forms a morning star, especially at an area of value, it usually continues with another bullish candle and then continues with another. The next two candlesticks after a morning star on a solid area, usually on a time on higher time frames, continues with bullish candles. And then if it happens to be evening star, the next couple of candles, maybe like 2 or 3 candles that is going to happen after this thing is going to be bearish candles. It's going to be bearish candles. So with that being said, we've already known that this everything it is that is happening on Apple stock is signifying bulls, is signifying a move to the downside. Now we're having first touch of the trend line, we had second touch of the trend line, and then this is looking like a possible third touch of the trend line again on Apple stock. So all you just want to be waiting for is a pullback to this, and then which happens to also be the neckline of this double top right here, with double bottom right here. It happens to be the neckline of this double bottom right here. You just want to make sure you're waiting for, sorry guys, I think this network is disturbing us again. This thing is somehow freezing. So you want to make sure you're waiting for a pullback to this zone right here, which is the neckline, number one. Number two, trend line. Also, let me remove this and bring out Fibonacci. If you draw a Fibonacci from swing, if you draw a Fibonacci from swing low to swing high, you're going to notice that this actually lines up. Everything in this confluence actually lines up here. So we have the Fibonacci, possible Fibonacci push to the upside. We have the trend line push to the upside, and we also have the neckline push to the upside. So everything it is that is happening on the monthly time frame is signifying that Apple stock is still very, very bullish. Although it's going to be experiencing maybe like few months to the downside, maybe like or few weeks to the downside until it settles at this zone. But if this zone is able to like hold it, the next possible move that we're going to see is going to continue again to $236 per share, and then we're going to see another possible move again to $250 per share. So that's that for Apple stock. There's not really so much need to go down to the time frames such as weekly and daily on this, because we're yet to start experiencing the pullback. Although it looks like the market is starting to come down already, as you can see the candle, it looks like it's starting to come down already. But you guys already get the gist. We want to see the waves that is going to actually form in a series of higher highs and higher lows, either on the daily time frame or on the weekly time frame. And then we're now going to draw our CTL. It is until that CTL now breaks that we're now going to say okay, and we have a trade, and then enter the buys. So that's basically that on Apple stock. Now to round up, I'm going to be showing you guys the pair that I actually was talking of. I'm going to be showing you guys the pair I was talking of. Yeah. Okay, AUS 200. I don't know if it's started playing out already, but if it's yet to start playing out, maybe we can just like look at it together. We can just like probably look at it together. So like if you look at this market condition here, I'm coming. Let me delete this. I want to make sure everything it is that I'm explaining is something you guys can understand and grasp very well, and you'll be able to do that better if the chart is clean enough. So if you look at this, you're going to see that the market has been in a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. This is a very, very solid uptrend on AUS 200, which happens to, I think it's an indices. Yeah, it's an indices. So like this has been in a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, which signifies that this uptrend is actually very, very solid, because everything it is that we're looking at here actually happened on the monthly time frame. Everything it is that we're looking at here actually happened on the monthly time frame. Sorry, I'm trying to return back my tools so that we will now go to the weekly time frame and then see the progression, or should I say, let's just see what it is that the weekly time frame also has to say, if there's anything contradicting to the direction that the monthly time frame has given to us. Or okay, so now let's go to the weekly time frame and see what exactly it is that the weekly time frame is saying. So for the weekly time frame, we can see here that the market is giving us I'm coming. Okay, now the market looks like it came and then broke above this zone. For the weekly time frame, looks like it came, broke above this zone, pulled back to it, pulled back to this zone, and then now again the zone where it started pulling back from can actually be considered a major zone because it's happened on the weekly time frame. So the market again has now given us a break above the zone and then giving us a bearish candlestick retest to the zone, and then last week candlestick pattern actually closed as a bullish candlestick pattern. So now let's see what is happening on the let's see what's happening on the daily time frame to see if it's contradicting with to any all the things it is that we've seen on the weekly time frame, or we can continue with it. So I'm coming. Let me take out my tools. It looks like it's already starting to play out. But however, it's all good. Even though it's starting to play out, you can get the gist, you can get the understanding of it. And then if you see something related to that on this thing or your chart again, you can know how best to make use of the opportunities and then make money from the market. So now on the daily time frame, we saw a vivid candle close and then we are seeing a pullback, and then it looks like the last week yeah, that was last week, the Friday candlestick that closed on the last day of last week, which was Friday, candlestick actually closed above the counter trend line. However, if you come down to the 4-hour time frame, it's going to become much more clearer for you guys to see. It's going to become much more clearer for you guys to see because the daily time frame actually shows us the pullback, but the 4-hour time frame shows it much more better. The 4-hour time frame shows it better. So now that we're seeing it from the 4-hour time frame, you're going to see this massive flag pattern that actually happened. You're going to see this massive flag pattern that actually happened on what's it called, on the daily time frame. So we saw immediately I saw a bullish candle close above the flag pattern. All I said to myself was it was time for me to enter into the market. My stop loss came below the previous low, and then my first level target is going to be here, and then my overall level target is going to be here, which is the Fibonacci extension. So now I'm already in this trade. Like I said earlier, let me just like remove my this thing. Let me just like, if you go to my this thing, what's it called, if you go on my Telegram free channel, you're going to see the this thing there. You're going to see the setup there. That's why I said you should join my Telegram free channel and also do well to follow me on the rest of my social media platforms. There are sometimes when to make a video might actually take much more effort than to actually just analyze the pair and then drop it on my social handle. So if you follow me on my social media platforms, you'll be going to be able to like see the setups, and then if you're able to see the setups, you can actually trade them you can actually trade them with me, and then we'll make profit together. So I'm already in this trade, although it's still around my entry zone. So if it's still there, and then while this video goes live, you can actually do well to take the opportunity as well. So $8,000 8,000 per basis point is going to be where my first level target is, and then $8,100 per basis pair, or let me just say $8,200 per basis pair is almost approximately to that, but it's this exact figure that I'm using. So $8,200 per basis point is going to be where my second level target is. So I'm already in this trade, and then I'm holding it on both my personal account and also my Profim account. So I'm holding this trade, and so I guess this is where we round up the whole this is where we round up the episode of Market Breakdown. So do well to hit the subscribe button. If you've watched the video and then you've been able to learn something, do well to drop a comment in the chat box. And then turn on your post notifications so that whenever it is that I drop another video next, you can be notified and then come online to take the opportunity as well. So that's that on that for today's market breakdown. Thank you guys for staying through. Bye guys.